Hey kids, it's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Cole. How are you doing?
I didn't die.
I know.
And I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, Jacob's here too.
Again, it's a winner. Well, Jacob is like really testing that second note of mine. The first one is don't die. The second is don't kill anybody. And then there's an asterisk and it says Jacob is exempt.
I'd like to see you try to kill me. I mean, without
I would like to see that
somebody.
too.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it would be this podcast for snuff film, so, you know.
We would go live with that on Twitch. But speaking of, we are live on Twitch. We have a guest with us joining today, Matt Small from Vector Unit. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, pretty good. It's good to be back.
I did the research. Last time you were on was March 14th, 2017. So it's almost 4 years to the day.
Ooh.
Wow, that was the before times.
Yeah.
That was the before times, before we started eating our babies.
Speak for yourself.
I'm trying to do some math here, and I can't make any promises. I'm a little older.
But yeah, 4 years ago. I know that was a long time ago, huh? It's been about that long since. It's funny because like we were just talking the other day about how long we've been working on this new game, and yeah, it's been exactly that long.
Speaking of that new game is, tell us about it. What is it?
Let's see. The new game is, it's got a really short, pithy title. You ready? Beach Buggy Racing 2, Island Adventure. And it is, it's a sequel to Beach Buggy Racing, as you might have guessed. But I'm really excited about it. It's like, we started off with, as some of you know, Beach Buggy Racing is both a mobile game and a console game. And with the first game, when we ported it to console, we up-res some stuff, but we didn't change a ton. But with this game, we really wanted to make like a console game. And so we spent pretty much about 2 years just like totally remastering the whole game and putting in, like, the gameplay itself is very, very different. Like, there's a whole story mode, like an adventure mode, and a bunch of other stuff that we could talk about. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's been a long time coming, but it's been really fun to work on.
Well, let's start at the beginning. This is a kart racer. Everybody loves kart racers. What sets yours apart from others?
I mean, at its heart, probably it's a more physicsy kart racer than, Mario Kart or something like that. Like, that's always one of the, we love vehicle physics and racing games. And so, Beach Buggy Racing, when you play it, you'll notice it has like kind of more realistic suspensions. And when the cars, like, there's sports cars with real tight suspensions and monster trucks with real loose suspensions. And we have like off-road courses and on-road courses. So different cars behave better in different settings. The other thing that is noticeable about Beach Buggy is that we have a ton of power-ups. There's 44 power-ups in the game. And over time, like in the story mode, you kind of collect them and add them to your repertoire. But when you're playing like Quick Race or the championships, you basically have them all at your disposal. And the third thing that I'm really excited about that we introduced for this game is the ability to customize sort of the loadout of the game. So when you can just play the regular rules, but you can also start, you can create your own custom rule set. Like if you just want to have a game with only the speed boosts enabled, you could do that. Or if you just want to have only the missiles that don't auto aim, you could do that. And so you can really customize sort of the game experience based on sort of how you're feeling. And you can save all those customized presets too.
So the people who are like Fox only, Final Destination, no items, they'll have their preset ready to go.
Exactly. Exactly.
So 44 items. How the hell do you think it's so many items?
We've added them over time. I mean, I think we might have dropped a couple out of the first. We definitely did drop a couple and change a couple out of the first Beach Buggy. I think we had like 20 or something in the first one. And and then we just kept thinking of more and more that we wanted to add in there. And, some of them are slightly different. Like there's a turbo boost, which is sort of like a nitro that basically just juices up your car. But then there's a rocket boost, which gives you like an instant boost of speed. And on paper, they sound the same, but their uses in the game are really different. And it also gives us a little bit more room to kind of play with by default, you can turn this off too in the customization. But, by default, we do sort of a Mario Kart thing where the people in back get stronger power-ups than the people in front. And with this many power-ups, like there's a lot more kind of like layers to that, which is kind of nice.
I also noticed, do the computer opponents start with a weapon ready to go? Because I've noticed races begin and shit just goes haywire right out of the gate with explosions and weapons flying. I'm like, I don't have any toys.
So that's a good question. It's something that's not super well communicated in the game. But when you're playing a championship, a multi-race championship, any power-ups that you cross the finish line with, you get to take into the next race. So that's, okay. I think, what you're talking about.
Alrighty, that makes sense. That's me not paying attention.
Well, I blame playing it. I blame playing at like 3 a.m. for that one.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's like another one of those things that you can sort of turn off and on when you're customizing the game. Actually, that reminds me. One of the other things I wanted to mention that I'm excited about with this game was we wanted to make. We really love split screen play. And we wanted to make split screen more kind of front and center in this game. So we set it up so that you can basically play split screen in any part of the game. Like if you want to just do a quick race by yourself, you could do that, but you could do a quick race in split screen. Or if you want to play the adventure mode with 2 players or 3 players in split screen, you can do that. So pretty much
cool.
any time, like your friends can kind of drop in and out while you're playing.
Of course,
split screen is like working on a split screen game in a time of social distancing.
And I was just about to ask, was there any concern with COVID in having a local multiplayer focused game? I mean, clearly your game is not aching for content when it comes to single player, like some multiplayer games are these days that release. So if you don't have friends to play Beach Buggy Racing 2 with, you're good. Like there's a lot for you to do. But
yeah,
did that have any effect on your plans?
It didn't. I mean, we pretty much just like stuck to our guns. But you're totally right. Like it's the irony of it didn't escape us while we were working on it. But it's like one of the things that was hard about making this game, because we're all working at home for the last year, is like usually the way we work when we're in the office, and we're like a pretty small, there's 5 of us that go into the office. And so usually the way we work is, we'd be working during the day, and then probably like after lunch, like at 1 or 2, we would all go into the conference room and play, split screen for half an hour or something to test out some new level or some new power up, and then like talk about it. And we haven't been able to do that really. I mean, we have these regularly scheduled play tests where we each play sort of single player in parallel with each other while we're on Skype talking about it. But it's not exactly the same.
No. Was there any thoughts into trying to get online into the game, or is that just too much of a coding nightmare to get into?
Like, yes and yes. Like, we definitely talked about it a lot. Like, one of the, and it's, I mean, I don't want to make any promises, but it's something that we always sort of have in the back of our heads. Like, yeah, it's Ralph, we basically have one programmer who's like this super programmer, Ralph, who's also the co-founder of the company. And he always says, like, one of these days I'm just going to take a week off and like bury myself and just like knock out the multiplayer. But it's a tricky problem because partly, obviously it's a problem that lots of people have solved in different games, but like in our game, one thing that makes it kind of challenging is because it is so physicsy. Certain things like one of the power-ups is a ball and chain where you can sort of shoot a giant metal ball and chain at somebody in front of you, a spiked ball, and it like attaches on this physicsy chain and drags behind them and slows them down. And just like stuff like that is a lot of information to keep synced between 8 players, especially when there's 20 of those things happening at the same time. So that's
there's a lot happening in this game.
Yes.
Like, how do you manage the mayhem in this game? Because I don't know if I'm not good at recognizing like frame rates and everything, but I'm playing on a Series X and it seems like a buttery smooth 60 frames per second at least. And it looks gorgeous and plays gorgeous. How do you keep it running smooth with so much shit going on?
That's a good question. It's there's a lot of optimization that comes. So the game engine is our own game engine that we've been working on since like the beginning of Vector Unit, and it's gone through a ton of iterations. Like the first game we did with it was Hydro Thunder Hurricane on Xbox 360.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah, hell yeah! It's still one of my favorite games that we've done. And so, we started off on PC and Xbox 360, and then we did some mobile games and like put some mobile stuff in the engine and did a ton of optimization for that, and sort of wandered in the mobile wilderness for a few years, and then came back and started porting stuff to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So we've had the engine supports a lot of different platforms, and so we're able to. I think I would just say we've gotten pretty good at like optimizing for stuff like this, and so for like split screen, for example, we basically, on a Series X we don't have to do a whole lot of optimization, but on a lesser platform, like say my regular Xbox One, when you go into like 4-player split screen, each one of those is essentially like a very powerful, iPad or something like that. And then you've got 4 of those running simultaneously. So, there's sort of multiple layers of optimization going on.
That sounds very complicated.
I know, it was like a long-winded explanation for something that honestly I don't fully understand myself.
Carnage in chat is excited because you mentioned Hydro Thunder, and he was saying that he has the Windows Phone version of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, we totally did a Windows. That was also one of the only games I think that we did that was published where we worked with a publisher. Because since then all of our games have been self-published, and so Microsoft published Hydro Thunder at Microsoft Games, and they really wanted to do a Windows Phone version, which also was compatible with like Windows, what was it, 8.1, where it was sort of a hybrid between like desktop and tablet and phone.
Okay, I don't even know. I had a Windows Phone and I missed that thing so much. Long live Windows Phone. Bring it back, Windows, you cowards.
I remember Windows Phone being pretty great at the time, actually. I was disappointed that it didn't take off.
It still has my favorite music sorting options. I loved the menu design, the tiles. I loved Windows Phone. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
The tiles that were like terrible on desktop computers, but they were awesome on phones.
Hell yeah. Also awesome is Beach Buggy Racing 2. Yeah, I brought that back around.
Nice.
Tell us about the adventure mode of it.
Still bad at segues.
Oh god, yeah. We'll never be good. 4 years later, the only thing that has changed has been my co-hosts.
Yeah.
The talent level has been, rock solid right at the bottom the whole time.
I mean, you get what
I gave us a little bump, but then you brought Jacob on and just
it was like up and then down.
Yeah. To be fair, to be fair, you get what you pay for. Joe pays me nothing, so I don't know what you all expect.
Oh, you're not getting paid? That sucks for you.
To be fair, you guys aren't paying me either, though.
Wait, hold on. Why should we be paying you?
Beyond
show. I pay you in time and adoration.
Yes, exactly.
And that is worth exactly what it sounds like it is.
So, Cole, what kind of questions do you have?
Well, one thing is I haven't played the other Beach Buggy Racing games. However, so this is my first one. However, my daughter actually plays them on her phone a lot because long live teenagers, right? And they play mobile games and I just go, at mobile. Take the phone, get it away. So I was actually curious what kind of changes had happened from previous mobile games to this one, which you kind of touched on when you said that you built this one ground up for console. But I was just curious if there were any other kind of changes that you had to make for developing this one versus just making a mobile game.
Yeah, totally. Like, well, first, I'm excited to hear that your daughter plays the mobile version of the game. So the mobile version of the game is like a total free-to-play game, first of all. It's actually Beach Buggy Racing 2 is kind of patterned after Clash Royale. So it's got all the stuff that everybody loves about mobile free-to-play games, like loot boxes and advertisements and all this other stuff. And we really just wanted to reach like the biggest audience we could. So the stuff that's in the mobile game is basically like the stuff that they share is we started with a lot of the same tracks and the same characters. Like the Beach Buggy series has these characters like Rez and Leilani and Beach Bro and Bizorp and these other characters that we've carried from game to game. So we kept that stuff. But when we started working on the console game, we decided, first of all, it's not a free-to-play game, so all that stuff is gone. And we wanted to just build out the different game modes as much as we could. And so in addition to like sort of the basic stuff that you would expect, like putting in the quick race modes and the championship races and stuff, we spent a lot of time working on the adventure mode, which is we added in this whole sort of island with an interactive map that you start off at the dock at the island entrance, and you kind of work your way through the map. And as you collect stars, you open up new sections of the map and collect power-ups and race against other drivers to add them to your team when you beat them. And so that was a big focus of this, was putting in the story and the adventure mode. And then like I said, the split screen couch co-op was another big focus of it. And then we also spent a lot of time thinking about kind of the longevity of it, because we wanted there to be like, once you've more or less like finished the story, we wanted there still to be a bunch of other stuff that you could do. And so we added in these car skin missions where and also driver skin missions, so you can
oh my god, I'm never going to complete them.
They definitely are meant for the long game. The one thing that I don't know, this is one of those UI things that I don't know if it's obvious to anybody except for us who made it, but when you're playing the game and you're picking, like, before a particular mission or a race, you're picking your character in your car, sometimes you'll see like a little star next to one of them. Mm-hmm. And what that means is picking that character, like there's a particular thing that you can do in this event or in this track that will satisfy some of the progress for that character. And we put in those little breadcrumbs to try to, help kind of guide people so that they can make progress while they're just sort of normally playing. But
hitting a whole bunch of seagulls with one character.
Exactly.
Been working hard on that one.
Yeah, there's one particular car that I really like, the Sand Blaster, And I have I have all my test games that I've been playing since we've been working on this, but I have my personal game that I started playing on Steam, like when we were getting close to finally finishing. And so I've been working on the gold skin for that car, and I have to smash a whole bunch of driftwood. So whenever I race on like a level that I know has a bunch of driftwood, I switch to that car and just take a few more out.
Oh my Lord. I am loving the adventure mode. I love that it keeps you wanting to do stuff. I've asked this on previous interviews with previous games, but there is so much in this game. How the hell is it only like 500 meg? What is going on at Vector Unit that you guys could put all of this stuff in under a gig, and Activision needs like 80 gig to do a friggin' NBA player's forehead?
Well, those skin pores, man, in 4K HDR. Yeah, it's, again, I think that's like part of, our experience working on mobile. We just try to be super, super efficient. I mean, we share a lot of assets the way that our game engine is built. We, and also because we're a small team and we need to, these levels are, many kilometers long, and we need to build them with just a couple of people. And so, we build just a few models, and then we kind of instance them and share them all over the place. So if we have 100 palm trees, it doesn't take that much more memory than if we have like 1 or 2 palm trees. Oh. And so, we do stuff like that basically to keep the size down. But I know it still surprises me sometimes when I'm downloading stuff or making room on my, my Switch or whatever to test the game. I'm like, oh, it's only 450 megs.
Like, a game that size ensures that I won't delete it. I have no reason to delete it. It's that small. Like, there's
exactly.
no reason to get rid of it. So you might as well keep it around and keep playing it.
Yeah, you're trying to make room, and you're going through your list of games, and you sort by size, and you're like, what would be the point of deleting a 500 meg game?
Yeah, it doesn't even... What are you going to do with 500 meg? No, you got to go for the big ones up top. Go for the Call of Duties, go for the Battlefields, the Battlefronts.
Yeah, get rid of those.
Forza Horizon, that's a big one. Grand Theft Auto. Ooh.
Where those games go, yeah, no. Beach Buggy will remain.
So when will Beach Buggy Racing get its Grand Theft Auto clone?
That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. We've talked about what would come next. Like, I think if we were to make another Beach Buggy game, it probably wouldn't just be Beach Buggy Racing 3. Like, it would be something, I don't know if it would be that exactly, but some kind of different thing, either like an open world game or like a battle arena game, or I don't know, something that's just a twist on it. Because we like the world and we like the characters, but I think we would want to try to do something different with them.
Beach Buggy Battle Royale. Oh my. No carnage. No.
Actually, no, that could probably work with like a Battle Royale mode, kind of like the one that they have in Forza.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That'd be pretty banging.
Like Destruction Derby, that's Battle Royale right there.
Yeah, technically, yeah. But like with more. Need more.
With guns.
Well, then it wouldn't fit at 500 megabyte anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But, sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
600 megabytes.
Yeah.
Perfect. 666 megabytes are bust.
Exactly. If we were at 665, we'd have to put in like another texture or two.
Yeah, there would have to just be an extra piece of driftwood somewhere.
Yeah.
Or a rogue seagull.
Speaking of 666, this is actually episode 660. So we are creeping up on that magic number.
On the episode of The Beast.
Yes. Uh-huh. Which hilariously enough, we record on April Fool's Day.
It's also the day I get my second COVID shot. So
nice.
I should be real good for that one.
Oh, you're going to be so sick.
That puke bucket under my desk is getting a workout.
Get me a bucket.
Oh, my Lord. Jacob, I know you had a question you wanted to ask, not about Beach Buggy Racing, but about another passion of yours.
Yeah. I actually had, I reviewed MouseBot on the show like years ago. Yeah, I would love for that to be ported. I mean, because I was really disappointed it was only for iPhone. And eventually my copy stopped working with the current version of iOS, so I was very disappointed I couldn't play it anymore. But yeah, is there any plans to like either port that to something or make a sequel?
It's funny you mentioned that because we were literally just talking about that about 3 hours ago.
Oh, damn.
So, I mean, we love that game internally. It's one of our like pet favorites.
I'll be honest, it's my favorite vector unit game.
Oh,
so
awesome. Yeah, like I really like that game too. And it never really took off on mobile, but we always feel like it never lived up to its potential because like it is at heart, I think, a pretty fun game. And it just didn't find an audience on mobile. So yeah, we've talked about porting it over to console.
Oh, nice. Please do.
Yeah, and like I think the trick to that would be we were just talking today about like what would we do to it to make it different. Like we probably would keep a lot of the stuff like the characters and the unlockable costumes and that kind of stuff. But like the sort of basic kind of free-to-play gameplay with the tokens and all that kind of stuff would probably go away, and we would replace it with something slightly different. I'm not sure what. Like I don't know if this comes across, but like that game was partly inspired by Super Meat Boy, because the idea was that you would basically that the levels would get to the point where they were really hard, and you would have to play them over and over and over again until you finally made it through. And the Super Meat Boy inspiration was, you can see that partly in the fact that like when you run over, when you get killed, when your MouseBot gets killed, he breaks apart into a bunch of pieces. And then the next time you run through the level, you see those pieces on the ground.
I was going to say, there were some levels where it was just littered. Like, I like if it had been ported to consoles, I think it would actually be pretty fun if like the mouse just like got slowed down by like the sheer amount of like gears and like mouse pieces. Like, because there were some levels where it was just, I know I died like 20, 30 times just trying to get through them.
You have to get a dozer to put on the front of your mouse so you could get the pieces out of the way.
Exactly.
Hey,
like
a snowplow.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea for a power-up.
That's funny.
He wants MouseBot on console. I still want Shine Runners on console. I think you should just do the Vector Unit Classics collection, bring all those mobile games, up-res to 9K with 300 frames per second and whatever else you could do on console. Throw that on the Series
5K.
X.
That's funny. Like all of because you guys are naming all the games that like we internally like the best also, which are also like probably our least successful games from a financial standpoint. But
of course,
but those are always the games that we like, irrationally want to make sequels to or make new versions of. Yeah,
Bring them to console. Really give them new life on console and see if they take off there.
In Shine Runner, actually, that's another one that we were talking about recently because, like the work that we did on the adventure mode in Beach Buggy Racing 2, with that whole interactive map that you scroll around and there's like a bunch of animated stuff on it, and we were talking about how great that would be to do like a new version of Shine Runner with like a huge map like that, where instead of just like the one screen where you're going between whatever 10 different locations or something, it could be massive.
Possibilities are endless.
It's true.
See, we sometimes have good ideas on the show. It's not often, but sometimes.
We put you in the credits if we do the Vector Unit, the Vector Unit greatest hits,
the classics collection. Yeah, just throw us in the special thanks. That's all I ever say.
That's Joe's goal for every dev we talk to. He's like, just find a way into the credits of some game.
Just throw us in the special thanks and we're good. Let me take a picture of it with my phone and send it to my friends and be like, look, we're legit now.
Look, Ma, I made it.
I made it.
Hangs it on her fridge.
It's the credits of the Vector Unit Classics collection. I can die happy now.
I'm down.
It's funny when you're talking about playing some level and dying 20 times. I was thinking maybe that's why it didn't make it on mobile. Wonder if that had anything to do with it.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that I never got angry at it. I mean, it's like I felt like the controls could have been a little bit more precise, but I thought it was fine. And it's like the deaths never felt cheap. It was just you had to learn the level. I don't know.
And Jacob's bad at games.
All right, shut the fuck up. I mean, I didn't think I was that terrible at it, but whatever. I mean, it entertained the hell out of me. And it was good for quick jaunts and stuff like that. For me, it was my perfect mobile game. It really was. And I really hope that, you folks do more with that property, because that was a lot of fun. And I'd love to see it again, even if it's just a remaster, on the Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, it would work. It works really well, actually, with game controller also. There was a move, like the MouseBot, I think, in the mobile game, he basically just steers left and right, and he auto accelerates, and he can jump.
Right.
But originally he had another move, which was like a sidestep, where his legs or his wheels would sort of extend out, kind of Inspector Gadget style, and he would do like a quick sidestep. And that was part of something that we worked into the setups originally. But when we decided to just commit to mobile, we couldn't figure out a great way to work. It seemed like the controls for touchscreen and stuff were just too complicated when we added the sidestep in. So we simplified it to just the turning. But if we were to go to console, we probably would put the sidestep back in. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, that definitely does make sense, because I don't remember if I played that thing with Game Vice or not, because Joe got me this controller thing that attached to my iPhone at the time, and I don't remember if MouseBot worked with it or not. But yeah, it's one of those things. It felt fine on the iPhone without any kind of controller or stuff like that. But I know that thing would be pretty flippin' amazing to have it with that. I don't know. I just I think I've already made it clear how much I would love to have a sequel or remaster or anything just to play this game again, because it makes me sad that I can't play it on my phone anymore. So yeah.
Well, I will definitely. Actually, I'll look into why it's not working on the phone too. That's weird. I'll follow up with you afterwards.
Okay. Because I initially did it through what the hell's that iPhone thing called? It was Test Flight.
Yeah, Test Flight.
Because I think I initially got it through there, but then I was given stuff to make it work outside of Test Flight, and then it didn't work, and then it just doesn't work on iOS, period, for some reason. So, I don't know. But
we will solve this problem.
By bringing it to Xbox?
By bringing it to Xbox.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
With SML in the credits.
You heard it here first.
Actually, speaking of Xbox, I'm curious, Joe, because you said that you were playing it on a Series X.
Yes.
Playing Beach Buggy Racing 2, Island Adventure, on the Series X.
Yes. Correct.
So how does it run? Because I haven't actually seen it. We weren't able to get a Series X dev kit while we were working on it, and so we just kind of crossed our fingers and we were like, we believe it's going to run great, but
it runs great. I don't have any issues. It's beautiful. The load times are near non-existent. It runs really well on the Series X.
That's cool. It should be running in 4K too.
I would imagine it is. I don't know does it have HDR? I have HDR disabled on a system level just because my TV isn't the greatest.
No,
HDR kind of sucks.
It's just all white spots.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't support HDR, but it does support 4K. It supports 4K on the Xbox One X, and then it should also on the Series S and X.
Yeah, because the Series X, I know, gets the Xbox One X enhancement.
Yeah.
There's too many X's. It just
oh my god, there's so many X's.
It runs really well and I like it. That's what matters.
I'll tell you this, it looks really nice on Xbox One S. So
yeah.
you got that going for you.
Awesome.
That's how I played it too, and I was like, "This looks great." And then I mentioned before that number one has played it on her phone, and she walked by and she's like, "Wait a second!" So she immediately ran to download it on her Xbox because she realized how much better playing on TV is versus playing on a phone.
It is totally true.
So yeah, the Vector Unit Classics collection.
Yeah, that's got to happen. When I was working on this game, so I have a kid also who's 7.5, and he's finally, like, he started off playing mobile games and, with like tilt controls and stuff like that. And he's just finally, like, helping me play test this game. He's finally started getting the handle of, like, gamepad, like joystick controls, which I'm very excited about. It's like opening up a whole new world in my mind of future possibilities.
It is interesting to watch how kids play games versus how adults who, grew up with consoles and stuff approach playing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's different. For one thing, like we're just the console controls are just, that we have for Beach Buggy are just standard like racing game console controls. We're not doing like tilt or, gyrometers or anything. And gyrometers, did I say that right? Is that a word?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Sure.
None of us are smart enough to correct you.
I'm just going to run with it. But the first few times that he picked up a Switch, like played it on with a Switch Pro controller, he was like tilting the controller left and right like a steering wheel, trying to make it go that way. It took him a while to realize.
Are you going to look into any kind of motion control for console on Switch and possibly PlayStation, anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean, it might be something that we look at for an update, but we'll see. I mean, it's just like it's better on console. I think like the latency is better, but it's just like personally, my personal preference is so rooted in thumbsticks that it's hard for me to see outside of that.
Are you looking into the DualSense at all, and maybe using their adaptive triggers or whatever they're called to have the more pressure on the triggers when you're playing games, or the haptic feedback they have in the controller? Is that something that interests you guys?
That stuff is always really intriguing, and then we don't end up usually doing it, partly because like we're trying to basically make one game that runs on a bunch of different platforms. So anything that's like super specific to one platform, unless it's something that makes a huge difference to the game, we don't usually invest a bunch of like energy in that. Or if it's something that like, if all of the consoles supported, accelerometer, then it might be something that we would be more like, yeah, we should put that in there for sure.
Friggin' Xbox not having a gyro on the controller.
Right? They ruined it.
They're the only ones. Support codes. I know in the past those were used to unlock special emblems in God damn, my mind is blanking on your jet ski game.
Oh, Riptide.
Riptide. Why am I an asshole?
Well, we know why.
I was just thinking Jet Moto. All I could think of was Jet Moto. But I know you had the unlockable emblems in that game. Do you have the support codes for unlockables in this game? And if so, how can we get our logo in there?
A good question. We do have support codes in this game. For the most part, it's there just in case we need it. But there are there's a few hidden things in the game that aren't generally available by just playing it. And so we put the codes in there also to be able to give some of that stuff away. We just added, you were making me think, like one thing that we've kind of expanded on the technology side is the ability to download in our game like live stuff off of our like textures and things like that off of our server. And right now we just use that for the tournament section of the game, which we haven't really talked about. I could tell you a little about it.
Yeah, tell us, what are the tournaments?
So the tournaments is another thing that we added, which is there are leaderboard tournaments. So every week we have a couple of different tournaments that switch in and out. And usually they're basically games that sort of play with those different rule sets like we talked about. So you might have a time trial, but you've got like the nitro car, like the dynamite strapped to the back of your car. So you're trying to go as fast as possible without touching any walls or else you'll blow up. And then you set a leaderboard time, and the leaderboards we were able to get cross-platform, like cross-play from all the different various consoles. So we've got, there's Steam players and Switch players and Xbox players, PlayStation, all like posting their leaderboard scores to the tournaments.
Nice.
And so those run for like a week or whatever, and you try to get as high as you can, and then they refresh. And we're going to kind of experiment because the tournament data is all like server side, and so we can kind of handcraft those as we go, and we can do holiday themed tournaments or New Year's tournaments. And what made me think of that? When you were talking about your logo, it made me think that one of the things that we've talked about, it's not in this version of the game, but we've talked about adding, would be the ability to be able to like download a texture and have some kind of custom texture on your on your car or whatever.
Oh,
but of
there
course,
would be so many dicks.
so many. Oh my God, so many dicks. Like, that's the main reason for not doing it, really. It's not a technological limitation. It's a limitation of humans.
Yeah. Oh my God, we are awful people.
Yeah. It's oh man. Even like on so on the mobile version, like on the consoles, we just grab your gamer tag and we post that for your leaderboard scores, and the consoles all have some sort of magic or whatever that they do to keep people from being too obscene in their gamer tags. But on mobile, it's just like the Wild West. Like, people put all kinds of stuff in there, and like we have some like real basic, open source, like, profanity filters or whatever. But there's just so many ways around those things. It is really, people are very creative.
What's the most creative you've seen?
No, don't give people ideas. You know how much of my time spent playing online games is spent trying to find ways to report people who have gotten around profanity filters?
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. But and also, I mean, you take into account like other languages and stuff like that. Like, there's people can get real creative.
Oh God. But yeah, support codes. Are there any universal codes that you could share that do anything interesting, or are they all single time, like one-use codes?
They're all single time one-use codes. We didn't do any. Yeah. I mean, you unlock something and then you get to keep it. But we didn't do any kind of like, invert the controls or
big head mode.
Yeah, we didn't do any big head mode. Actually, because the characters' heads were big, we talked a little bit about doing a regular head mode where you would like put the code in and all their heads would shrink to normal size. But we didn't do that. So I'm sorry to report.
Oh well, next game. That'll be in MouseBot. The Vector Unit Classics collection. Shine Runner's going to have that feature in it.
Big tail mode.
Oh man, I know we've been chatting for a while now. Cole, Jacob, either of you have any questions you wanted to ask still?
I'm good.
I was going to ask if you could tell us any of the features or what we could look for in future updates, or if there were going to be like extra racers or more tracks or anything like that.
Yes, that's a great question. As a matter of fact, right now we are working. We haven't announced it yet, and I'm kind of bummed because I would love to tell you more about it. But we are working on our first DLC, which is going to be like an expansion pack, which is going to come out in the middle of May. And it is going to add some more cars and tracks and some other stuff. But there's like a special something special about it, something extra.
I'll tell you what. If you go ahead and tell us about it, we promise not to tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody. Yeah.
No one listens to us anyway.
It'll be between me, you, and the fence post.
That's the extent of it, yeah. And Carnage, I guess.
Wait, is my nickname Fence Post?
You didn't even know that.
That's how good I am at keeping a secret.
You didn't even know what your nickname is. But yeah, we're excited. It's gonna be cool. And it's gonna and so that'll be coming out in May. That'll be like our first sort of like expansion of the game. And then
is that going to cost? Is it free DLC or is there a price attached to it?
No, it's going to have a price attached to it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's going to have a price attached to it. But we also didn't mention the fact that the game is only $20. It's very reasonable.
Yeah, especially with how much is in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's never been like, I don't know. I've always liked your folks' games, so that's never been a complaint. I mean,
support devs, Jacob. Quit trying to freeload.
I'm not trying to freeload. It was a question. We're just trying to get as much information out of this as we can.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's cool, but paid DLC.
Paid DLC, but yeah, it's good. I thank you, Jacob, because you gave me an opportunity to say that the game is reasonably priced at $20.
I would have given you the chance to do that at the end anyway. So.
Yeah, don't thank Jacob. He doesn't deserve it.
Jacob doesn't deserve any credit.
Forget it. I take it back.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Will the update include any new achievements? Possibly some that are actually attainable? Because, oh my god, your achievement list is fucking hard.
Oh yeah, I could tell you. So, yes, it is going to have some achievements. And one thing I will say about the achievements that are in the game is, at first blush, they seem impossible, but a lot of them are pretty doable if you play with the customization, like the rule customization. So, like, for instance, there's one where you need to play as Leilani and, like, catch somebody in your flower power trail with the spring. So, like, basically, like, lay down your flower power, drop a spring, and then have somebody hit both of those things at the same time.
That's the only one I got.
Okay. Let's say that's one of the easier ones. But in any case, you can start, you can make a custom race where you basically, the only power-ups in the race are springs, and then play as Leilani, and it's actually pretty trivial. So, and a lot of the power-ups and the missions, the character missions especially, are like that, where you can find ways to make them a little bit easier by screwing around with the custom game controls.
Yeah, Carnage saying, was asking about achievements, and then he was also asking, how do you unlock the alternate costumes for all the starting drivers? I noticed there are achievements for that.
Yeah, so the alternate costumes, like when you go on the on the main menu, you'll see, or actually on a few of the different screens, you'll see the collection screen. So you go to the collection screen, you can see all your drivers, you can bring up the info, and it'll give you a list of the missions that you need to complete for that driver. And they're usually like a combination of, like, win a certain number of races with this driver, use the driver's ability on other people a certain number of times, and then like special challenges, start the last lap of a race in 8th place with res, and then use your ability to like get up to first place by the end of the race, that kind of stuff.
The stuff I will never do, because I'm like, if it's not unrelaxed, I'm apparently bad at this game.
Well, one of the things about the game that we did too, especially I think now because a lot of us have kind of younger kids, is we made it so a lot of the basic stuff in the game you can do, like you can finish the story mode, for example, by playing on relaxed. And then, if you're ready at some point to boost it up to normal or hard or very hard, you can do that. But you can go through and unlock almost everything by playing on relaxed. Or if you get stuck on a particular event, you can drop down to relaxed, play it on that, and then like bump it back up to whatever else you're playing on. So,
Cole, does that make you happy?
Very much so.
Yeah, it's flexible.
I'm a big fan of difficulty settings.
Yeah, we talked about, there's always like that kind of hardcore impulse that we have sometimes to like be like, yeah, but you can only do all this stuff if you play it on the very hardest mode and like 100% everything. And yeah, and then after we always, well, when we're being careful about it, we usually talk ourselves out of that at some point. I think so far, actually, there's only there's one person on our team, Ian, our game designer, who has like basically 100% of the game with like all of the stars on the very hardest level, like everything.
Wow.
So, and it took him, I didn't even know, like it took him days worth of gameplay, like 80 hours or something to get it.
As somebody with a chronic illness, I always take the opportunity to impart to devs that there's no shame in letting people play on lower difficulties, because it is definitely an accessibility issue. And whenever there are lower difficulties and things can be attained on those lower difficulties, that's always ideal for people like me who struggle with, being able to play games because of my hands are problematic and things like that. So when you look at it, if I could ever offer any advice to a dev, it would be just remember that it's not that we're lazy and don't want to play your game on hard. Some of us just physically can't.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. I totally appreciate that. And it's also like, I also, even though I've been playing games forever, I'm not, even the games that I make, I'm not always like I definitely have not finished all of our missions and stuff like that on the hardest level. And it's, we often have made the mistake of making our games too hard because we're playing them every single day. And so even, even somebody like me who's like a good but not great racer.
It's so easy to do because you play it so much that it just becomes, you start to like misjudge the difficulty of it because you're like, oh, well, I can do it with my eyes closed and in my sleep. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, but you've also been doing it for 500 days.
Yeah, exactly. And
in a row.
Yeah, it's something we have to remind ourselves of a lot when we're working on stuff and tuning the difficulty is like we kept saying it on this game because like Riptide Renegade, when we first released it, was really, really hard. And we didn't have a difficulty setting for that. We just sort of figured, it'll start off easy and it'll ramp up to like a harder difficulty. And then like starting off easy, what we thought in air quotes was starting off easy was like super hard for a lot of people. And so then we were like, oh, and so yeah, we updated it. Like the very first update we did was to put in a difficulty. It was like almost a day one patch. We were like, oh, dang. But anyway, yeah, it's a good reminder. And it's kind of like why, I do like to put a couple of things in there, like achievements or whatever, that are just really for the hardcore people that just want to finish everything on the hardest possible difficulty, but not necessarily make that like, like half the achievements are like that. Yeah. Like it should be more like most of the achievements are kind of fun and goofy. And then there's like a handful that are, you have to.
The completionist got to earn them. I always say there's no such thing in his achievement list that's too easy. Like that's been destroyed. There are no too easy achievement lists anymore with some of the publishers that are out there. But there is a such thing as a too hard of an achievement list.
Yeah.
So, yeah. As long as your list is achievable and attainable, I'm happy. But I am going to do an awful time trying to get the achievements in Beach Buggy Racing too. I'm going to struggle.
It does take a while. The one piece of advice I would say is just try to kind of like especially with the missions, the car and the driver missions, just kind of do them while you're playing, So, and that's kind of, like spread the love around when you're playing with different cars and stuff. So you can kind of always be beating a race and knocking off one of the missions at the same time.
Let it happen naturally. Don't just force it.
Exactly. Just let it happen naturally. We'll get there. It'll be okay.
Oh, man. Tell us, where is the game? How much is it? Give us all the details on it.
All right. So it's coming out. So the official launch day is the 17th, which is 6 days from now. And it's coming to Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but it's forwards compatible with the new systems. And then it's available in pre-sale right now on Switch and Xbox. We weren't able to swing it on PlayStation, but you can get a 10% discount if you buy it on Switch or Xbox during the pre-sale. And it's available on Steam. It's actually out on Steam right now because we've been developing it in early access on Steam for the last year. So, which that was an adventure. It was great, actually. I really liked Steam as as a developer, just like their tools and their environment and like the community is really great. And so working in early access was pretty helpful, I think, during, everybody working separately in their homes and stuff, and being able to have that kind of interaction with people, with fans, like while we were working on it was pretty helpful, like motivating. Anyway, so it's been in early access this whole time, and we just decided, like during the pre-sale, to just like flip it from early access to full release. So it's out on Steam, if that's your preferred platform. But if you want to wait a week, it'll be out on those consoles.
Awesome. Well, it has been awesome having you on, Matt. I love having you on the show. You're going to have to do it again, preferably before 4 years from now. Yes.
It won't take us that long to do MouseBot, I don't think, so...
Yay!
Is that a hint at something?
Was that my outside voice?
Yay!
Well, we are going to take a quick break. We are going to be back with more show. Matt, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on chatting with us. Do you have any final words to end the interview?
No, just thank you very much for having me on. It's always fun to talk to you guys. And I appreciate the chance to talk about the game. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let me know if you, need any helpful hints on getting those missions done. And thanks again for having me on.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. So did he officially announce like MouseBot?
I don't know. Maybe.
Was that a joke or was that official?
I don't know.
I'm so fucking stoked if like that was official. Like, I just let it leak to you guys. Like, I don't know if he was like, yeah, maybe, or if that was a fit. Can we quickly call him back to find out? Because he kept like dancing around it, like, MouseBot's coming up next. Like, are you kidding? I can't tell if you're joking. Like,
I don't know. We'll find out.
Can you message him?
In the future.
Please?
I'm not going to do it now. We have more show to do. We have news to take care of.
Come on. That is news. That is news.
Oh, my God. No, for real. We do have news that we have to get to.
Damn it, Joe.
Calm your tits, Jacob.
He sounds like the 8-year-old that wants a Pokemon card.
This is beautiful. Oh, shit. Go ahead. What are you going to say, Jacob?
I want to know.
Well, you're not going to find out anytime soon because we have a show to do.
No. You said we're taking a break. You can message him on your break.
No, the break's over. We're back.
No break. Don't you know how this works?
That was no break.
This is all in the show. You freaking out is all part of the show.
Oh my God, this is... No.
Yes.
This is crap. Whatever.
So you ready to talk news?
Could you please message me?
Yeah, let's talk news.
Oh my God. Okay. The big news of the week is that the Microsoft acquisition of Zenimax and Bethesda is complete. In a roundtable, Phil Spencer said this. I'm just going to read his quote direct so I don't mince any words. He says, "I'm going to try to be as clear as I can because that's what I think is just fair. So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms and we're going to go support those games on the platforms they're on. There are communities of players. We love these communities and will continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be things that have either contractual things or a legacy on different platforms that will go on. If you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know about this is delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists, and that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. This is the root of the partnership that we're building and creative capability that we're able to bring to the market for our Xbox customers. It is going to be the best it's ever been for Xbox after we're done here. So, basically, they're going to be exclusive.
Yep. Well, I mean, at least exclusive to Game Pass.
That would mean that they're on Xbox. They're exclusive.
Well,
to Xbox.
yeah. No. I meant like, I guess. I don't
why
know.
Why would they have something in Game Pass but not available to buy?
Well, no. I meant like going with Game Pass. Like it wouldn't be. I don't know. I took it to mean like you'd still be able to play it on PC, but you have to get it through Game Pass. Like it's not going to be on like Steam or Epic.
No, it'll be on Steam.
Probably Steam. They put a lot
Xbox is very open with Steam anymore. I don't think Game Pass works with Steam. I'm pretty sure Game Pass only works with the Windows 10 store. Yes, so if you want it through Game Pass, you're going to have to get it on the Windows 10 store. But I'm pretty sure everything's going to be available on Steam as well.
So it's just going to be Xbox and PC.
Yeah. Yeah. For basically the bulk of things. There's going to be exceptions, obviously, contractual obligations. I think it's hilarious that Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo are going to be Xbox exclusives on PS5 for a year.
Yeah.
The
funny thing about that is I've seen so many people be like, "Oh, I will just play these games on PC, and then Xbox won't get any of my money." And I'm like, "You dumbass."
They're getting your money if you play it on PC.
Oh, fuck you guys. I'm going to put it in their left pocket instead of their right.
I love the people who are like, I'll just, I don't have to buy an Xbox. I'll just build a $2,000 PC instead. Well, then fucking buy a $2,000 PC. I'll spend $500 on a Series X and I'll play the same game as you. And they'll probably look close to the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
So eat my dick.
Ew, no.
In addition to that news, they are putting most of the Bethesda games on Game Pass tomorrow.
Yeah.
They are all going on. Well, most of them are going on. Dishonored Definitive Edition, Dishonored 2, Doom 1993, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64, Doom Eternal, Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind, 4, Oblivion, 5, Skyrim, Online, Elder Scrolls Online, The Evil Within, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Fallout New Vegas, Prey, Rage 2, Wolfenstein The New Order, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, and Wolfenstein Youngblood are all going to Game Pass tomorrow. Holy shit.
Yep.
Jacob, do you think it's worth $10 a month yet?
What? Sorry, I just realized in Skype, I was just like, wait a second, like, the text box is still here. I could message him and be like, hey.
Oh, Christ.
Eddie, I don't know. I think I have a bunch of those games anyway, so it's like,
fucking yeah!
In terms of Game Pass, like, I'm sure for other people that's like a great value, but I've already bought them, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do about it. Yeah, well, no shit. But, duh.
There are a few of those that are only going to be on console and PC or console and cloud, depending on the title. If you want more information, go to the Xbox website. They'll have all the specifics, but it's a good day for Game Pass.
Yes, it is.
A very good day for Game Pass. Nintendo of Japan has officially ended 3DS repairs after running out of parts early.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
So, no more 3DS repairs.
Wait, so they don't make those anymore?
No,
okay.
3DS is out of production.
Wait, so what's their handheld?
The Switch.
I
think they still sell the 2DS, but it's not really supported that well.
Yeah, and on top of that, you can't fit a Switch in your pocket. That's dumb. Oh, man.
Switch Lite.
In your backpack.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, the whole point of the Game Boy is you can just shove it in your pocket and all that kind of stuff. Like, you can't shove. No, that's dumb.
You're dumb.
You carry her purse. How come you don't carry yours in your purse?
Because I don't have a purse.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Personal.
That was actually pretty good. I will give you that one.
Good, because I was feeling shame over making it, but I couldn't help myself either.
I think Carnage will hate you for that one. But,
No, Carnage will appreciate that.
Or wait, which one of our viewers hates puns?
Me.
No, not you, because you don't listen.
I thought Surly hated him too.
Oh. Sorry, Surly.
It doesn't matter. V1 Interactive, the developers of Disintegration, has shut down.
I saw that news, but I also didn't recall any of their titles, which I think they only had one.
Disintegration. Yeah, I was going to say.
So the makers of Disintegration have disintegrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which really you'd think more people would have put that as like a title for that, but they didn't. Did anybody actually play Disintegration?
I did.
And?
I got my ass kicked in the online, and the story itself was fine. The graphics were ambitious and looked good, but the story itself was just like generic sci-fi tropey stuff. Okay,
so would you say no loss there, or... I mean, obviously it sucks people are out of work, but...
I don't want to say oh yeah, the whole studio should shut down. It was ass. Everybody starts somewhere, right? Yeah. But it wasn't something that made me go, oh, this is a franchise that's going to pull in the big bucks. It was just one of those where you go, yeah, it's fine. But I don't think it was... I don't think it was bad to a point that it should have tanked the whole studio in 5 years, but here we are. It did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, not even a year after the game is out. That is a shame. I know the online, I believe, is shut down, but apparently the single player will still be playable. I hope, at least.
I mean, you could still buy the game, so I would assume so. I mean, I thought I had read the online shut down back in November.
It may have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was just literally no one was playing. Oh,
I didn't know, but I'm not surprised.
Well, I'm on the Xbox site right now, and they don't mention multiplayer at all. And the key features are the tactical grab cycle combat and a riveting single player campaign. So
there you go.
So riveting, I can't tell you anything about it.
All right.
Some sad news. A devastating fire has claimed all of the European servers for the game Rust.
Oof. That was the pictures of that fire scene were terrible. What? Shut up. How many years has it been? Why is that still funny to you? Would you like for me to say 9-2 like my mother-in-law does to me all the time?
I don't know if we'd like you to say that, but
Well, all the things I can cut out of my accent, the eyes give me away.
It was the R there, the far.
Yeah, that's true. There was a video I watched the other day, completely off topic, but there's an actual name for doing that. It's called pass smoothing. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
And now we learned something.
Yeah, we did. Rust is also going to be hitting consoles this spring. So despite the European servers getting torched, literally, I think everything is still on pace to release this spring.
It seemed that way.
Especially
I think it was
because from what I hear with Rust, they wipe the servers frequently. So this isn't a huge loss.
Right. I was actually about to add that in. They wipe them monthly, however...
It is a loss because, some of those were dedicated private servers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's where you're like, those people have lost years worth of shit.
No.
And that's a problem. But
what I don't get is, they didn't have, they don't have, a backup for them?
I mean, I would assume the backup would have been in the same building.
No, I would have assumed that the backup would be in a different country or different continent. I don't know. That's crazy to me, but
you're crazy.
You're crazy to us, so it's fine.
Want to know what else is crazy? Have you heard
Dynasty
of the
Warrior? Oh,
Have you heard of the EA Gate controversy?
Damn, man, you are just like killing all my news stories tonight. Okay.
What happened?
That's my fucking job, Jacob.
Honestly, I was just like, I've got like my 10 tabs open for like all the things I figured Joe won't cover.
To be fair,
so far you've been covering everything.
The Rust one was me sending it to Joe, so that one was mine. Well,
I had posted that up on the Facebook page, so I don't know when you gave it to me.
I had it before you.
Oh my god.
Anyway, EA is facing allegations that employees are selling FIFA 21 icons and premium items to people for direct cash, like $2,500 for R9 cards.
Yep. And
thousands for cards in a game.
Wow. But why?
Well, because you can't fucking get them any other way. Because loot boxes are bullshit.
Yeah, there's some of these are retired cards or whatever, and other ones are just insanely hard to get, and they could really give you the edge on your multiplayer game. So for some people, this is worth having. And they were making, I think EA releases these cards weekly to the employees, and so these employees were just making hand over fist like every single week, like thousands of bucks.
Yeah, EA is apparently looking into things and is going to crack down on what's going on. So hopefully some idiots get fired for doing stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And then last bit of news I have is that Square Enix announced a digital direct event that is happening next week that will feature the next Life is Strange title, and other upcoming titles. Will have all the info on next episode or next week's show when it actually happens. But Cole, what do you think of Life is Strange getting a new installment?
I have mixed feelings about it. I want to have high hopes, but also Don't Nod isn't doing it.
Yeah.
So I want to temper my expectations. But I'll probably look forward to it and play it all the same because I can't help myself.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the news I have. Cole, anything on your end?
No. We already talked about my brilliant news. It wasn't
Jacob, what else you got then?
Jacob sucks socks.
Socks? Well, all right. That's fair.
It has been decided.
Okay.
The typo.
Capcom's warning people not to open up early access emails about Resident Evil Village. It's a scam that's been going around saying that you have early access to the game. Capcom saying it's definitely not from us. It's some third party trying to scam you. Do not download any files or reply. So hopefully none of our listeners got that.
And if they did, they made sure to do some research. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'd hope that. Dynasty Warriors is this movie which got announced a couple of years ago. Finally has its first trailer, which honestly I thought it was pretty exciting. I mean, it looks like a live action Dynasty Warriors game. The people have like the insane power moves, like there's thousands of soldiers flying everywhere as like they knock the shit out of them. And there's tons of characters in it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Did either of you watch it?
No.
Cole? Okay.
You're the movie guy, Jacob.
Huh?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys play Dynasty Warriors, because I also like
not
Dynasty
enough
Warriors.
to even know that a movie was being made, honestly. I had no clue there was a Dynasty Warriors movie being.
What is Dynasty Warriors?
Oh my god.
Really, Cole? You don't know what Dynasty Warriors is?
Seriously?
I have a vague idea, but I just wanted to say it to see y'all's reaction, and it was worth it.
God. So yeah. So the movie actually wrapped filming back in 2017. It's just taken all this time to get the battles and all that kind of crap going. So, because there's a shitload of CGI in this movie. So it releases on April 29th over in Asia, starting in Hong Kong, and then it gets to China the next day. However, there is no word yet on a release here in the US.
So what is the point in telling us?
That it exists. We got a trailer, and holy crap, it looks great. Like, I'm excited.
Okay.
Okay, if it makes you happy, I'll let it slide. What else?
Man, whatever. Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. We're getting an anime based on it in 2022.
Okay.
I don't know. I figured Purnell would be interested, because doesn't he review those games?
Purnell, are you excited?
Fucking yeah!
There you go.
They're fantastic.
Hopefully it picked up on the episode. and Winamp isn't shitting out already. I don't know. We'll find out.
So apparently there's some changes in Marvel's Avengers that's hinting that it may eventually go free to play.
Maybe that will be part of the Square Enix event next week.
Yeah. So pretty much it has to do with like the whole the change with how you're earning XP and stuff like that. And supposedly there's some stuff in there that's people are speculating that it's laying the groundwork for it to become free to play. So, woo. And then the only other thing I have is that since it's almost halfway through March, you will only have 2 weeks left to pick up all the Super Mario Brothers 35th anniversary stuff. Nintendo is ending sales on the 31st for Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers, and the 35th anniversary collection. And also the servers are going to get turned off on Super Mario Brothers 35, even if you already have it downloaded.
No. Which I hear isn't a huge loss.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I haven't even touched it yet. So, I also keep forgetting I have a Switch.
Proud of you.
Thanks. We just got Just Dance. That looks pretty fun.
Proud of you.
Thanks.
Just Dance on the Switch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because I know you were looking for Kinect stuff as well.
I got it. Yeah, we got it for Kinect too. Because the nice thing about having it on the Switch is that you just use the little Joy-Cons for it, and we could be standing literally anywhere in the living room and playing it instead of having to have a whole 10-foot, square clear. So.
Okay, you ready for reviews?
Yeah, I guess.
Cole, you ready? Meh. Y'all are just so fucking excited tonight. I can't even.
I told you pre-show I am very lethargic, and I can't help it.
The excitement cannot be contained because the first game to talk about tonight is called Monster Truck Championship, developed by Teyon, published by Nacon, released March 16th on Xbox Series X and S and PS5 for $39.99. From Las Vegas to Orlando, go head-to-head against experienced drivers in drag races and freestyle competitions. These machines are colossal and spectacular, yet highly technical to drive. A true monster truck simulation. Jacob, you and I covered this one a couple of months ago. It is getting a re-release on Series X and S and PS5, which I'll talk about the visual enhancements and whatnot in a few minutes, but give us a quick rundown of what the game is.
So pretty much, this is more on the simulation side of monster truck driving. Unlike the Monster Jam Monster Jam Steel Titans game that I reviewed last week, which is more on the arcadey side. So as I said, this one takes a more realistic approach, and pretty much it gives you it just drops you into the world and is all right, well, here's how you do a few of these things, and then that's it. It doesn't really explain itself, and the controls are not simple at all. I mean, theoretically they're simple, but controlling the monster truck feels sluggish and not fun.
Really? See, I agreed with you when we first covered this game that the controls were just really hard to get a handle on. But after playing Steel Titans 2 and coming back to this, I'm having a really fucking good time with it. I'm driving really well. I'm performing really well. I'm doing the stunts really well, mostly by luck on those.
Yeah, I fired. Oh, Jesus Christ! What the fuck? It's like I'm getting a call. What the hell?
Are you getting a call?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck. I keeps
what the
dialing.
fuck indeed.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. So anyway, yeah, like my company phone just tried calling me. Anyway, yeah. So I re-downloaded it for my Xbox One because I'll be honest, I deleted it because I was just like, I'm not having fun with this. Like, the controls don't respond well, and the races, like, I was always finishing last for obvious reasons. And I re-downloaded it because I was just like, oh, maybe they improved it. Maybe it, like, maybe I just like sucked the first time around, and maybe like with how much I was doing with the Monster Jam game, maybe that'll translate into making this better. And it didn't. Like, I still have the same exact complaints that I did last time, and it's just, I don't like. I'll be honest, I wasn't having fun at all, and like it never felt like the controls ever got any better. And so I don't know if maybe they just spruced it up for the Xbox Series X, and all of us Xbox One players are just stuck with what we have, or what. But yeah, I don't.
I'll be honest. I did some comparisons between the two versions. I didn't think to compare the handling.
Yeah, it just.
Because, like, I did load time comparisons. The load times were pretty solid to begin with. Monster Truck Championship didn't have really bad load times to begin with, but everything is, like, super snappy on the Series X. The visuals look nice and clear. The textures are good. The cloud effects look nice. Well, not the cloud, the particle, the dust effects, stuff like that. It's not going to set the world on fire visually. You could tell it's still a port of an Xbox One game. So textures look better, but it's not going to be a world beater, like compared to like a new Forza game or something. But yeah. I honestly, at $40, I went back into this not expecting that good of a time. And I've beat the first championship. I'm halfway through the second tour, working towards the third, and I'm doing really well. I got a couple of big achievements in the game. Like, was it a 30 multiplier I got?
Jeez. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, as I said, maybe it's just like after
it's possible they reworked the handling for the new generation consoles, but I think this just might be a situation where you couldn't get into it, and I was able to. It just clicked with me a little more.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the things too is that, like, I went back and looked at the reviews of the game just to make sure, like, is this an example of, is this Jacob sucking, or is it more so the game? And it's just
column A, column B.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems like you either had a fun time with this game or you didn't. So I don't. It's like, I guess, as they say, your mileage may vary.
Well, I think for $40 on the new gen consoles, it is worth a try at least. If you own it on Xbox One or PS4, it is not a free upgrade. That is disappointing. I don't like that companies are not doing the whole smart delivery thing. But if you're new to the franchise and you haven't played this yet, I think it's worth a try it.
Yeah. So.
Yep. All right. Next game is called Doodle Devil Evolution, developed and published by Joybits, released March 11th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PS5 for $8.99. Discover the 7 deadly sins and watch as the world crumbles at your fingertips as you create thousands of dastardly deeds. Combine fire, earth, wind, and air to create demons, beasts, zombies, and much more. Being bad has never been so much fun. Jacob, tell us about Doodle Devil 3 Evolution. Or 3-volution.
Three evil, 3 fast.
3 furious.
Yeah, whatever. You knew what joke I was going for.
Dying over here. BRB.
So pretty much the only reason why I initially took this game is because Cole was out, and Cole's usually the one who reviews these. So this was the first time I've ever gotten to play one of these. And admittedly, I was a little confused at first because I wasn't sure what exactly I was supposed to be doing. Which, if you're a new player, perhaps this is not the game in the series to hop in on, because it seems like the game really just expects you to know it. So, like, whatever. So I started mixing up stuff, and I got the hang of it. And it's pretty much you're just combining two things, whether it's like a beast and fire, and it makes a shit. I don't know. Damn it. Okay, that was
wow.
I'm just I'm trying to remember some of the combinations.
Fire and dirt makes lava.
Yeah.
Or
computer plus computer makes internet.
Man and woman makes sex and
life.
Yeah.
All right, so you get the idea, and it's just or firearm plus magic makes an AK-47 or something like that. I think that might actually be it. I don't remember. I played this mostly late at night, so I don't really remember all the combinations. But and so it's just you have to make more and more combinations, and you create more stuff, and some of it doesn't quite make sense, and so it seems like some of it's just you're just supposed to stumble on it. And as you unlock more groups of stuff, you eventually have 20 different groups that you could choose from, each of them having I think it's 8 or 10 different choices in each one. And it's just, you're just unlocking a bunch of crap.
Cole, anything you want to chime in with since you've handled these before?
So basically, the way these work is that the story progresses as you create these different
what story,
elements.
Though? That's what I didn't get either. It's a 2-chapter story, quote unquote. I know you guys can't see me making air quotes over here.
They're implied.
But it's just it's a 2-chapter story that has 5 lines of whatever in it, and then it's just, all right, you're back to doing this. And then I got, all right, congratulations, you mixed everything, and it's okay, so what now? There was literally no story to this, and now
it kind of just is it though. It's just it sounds kind of like you used the guide and didn't just fall into the things, because the whole fun is, okay, if I mix one item with another, what happens? And not knowing and not anticipating what it's going to create or how you can use those elements is all how it plays out. You're just supposed to be surprised and be oh shit, now what can I do with that? And that's how you build up the story. And it is okay. I mean, the concept is the other games are Doodle God, and so you're making all the good things. Yeah, and then this time it's Doodle Double, so you're making the 7
bad
sins and stuff like that. So that's basically the point of it. Is just, can you create all of the sins and do all the bads?
Yeah, I mean, I will admit I did use a guide at the end, towards the end of it, because I was having a real hard time navigating the menus and trying to figure out where what was. And then there is a thing that lets you search, but I was also initially having a hard time managing the left and right sides of the menu, because again, this is the first time I've ever played it. But I mean, at first I was just trying to mix everything all willy-nilly, and it was just okay, that didn't work. I did have to turn off the sound, because I found the narrate the devil's comments as stuff failed. It just got really annoying because it was very repetitive. But it's just, I get it, and supposedly these things are more of a mobile game than console.
Well, you can play it. It's play anywhere, so you can play it on PC as well.
No. I meant I think I read somewhere that they showed up on mobile first and then got ported to PC and eventually consoles as well.
But if you let me finish, I'd say it's easier to play it on PC, because it's easier to just point and click through it instead of trying to navigate with the controller. So I always play them on PC.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, this is definitely more of a PC game than an Xbox game, in my opinion. It was just odd. And then there's another mode where you do these little demon battles, which helps you win coins and stuff like that. So then you could use that for the third game mode, which is it's just a slot machine, and you win coins in it that you can use to purchase items and stuff like that. And also which would help you with, making combinations and stuff like that in the first game mode. However, you can also buy like keys to help unlock the other demons and stuff in the second, in that demon battle thing. The demon battle mode, it's okay. I mean, it's just you're going through these different little RPG-ish battles, and you get to mix 3 altogether elements, but it's just like, do you mix fire and air, which heals you, or do you mix fire and earth, which sends an extra, more powerful attack towards the other demon and stuff like that? And then if you win, you get coins. It's whatever. There's not really a whole lot to it. And then going back to the whole slot machine thing, it's all luck-based, which is kind of annoying because there are 2 achievements attached to it, which, as I said, they're luck-based. And I had to follow up with Carnage on one of them because it's like the devil's jackpot or something like that, and you have to get 1,000 times 1,000 payout on it. And you are more likely going to have to delete your save file and start the game over just to get it. So
why?
Because it's luck based, and you only get 10,000 credits, and that's it.
Jeez.
And so you can earn more credits through the demon battle thing, which I think is what you're supposed to do. But if you're just trying to get all the achievements and stuff like that, you're just better off deleting your save file and starting anew. So yeah.
Carnage, delete save from everywhere. So I did that achievement first before playing the main game. Oh my God, you people.
Yeah.
So $8.99 on Doodle Devil. What do you think of it?
If it's the first time you're getting into this game series, I don't know if this is the best entry point. I thought it was okay. I'm actually more willing to check out the other titles now, if they come up on sale. But for $8, I've spent worse on $8. I thought it was okay. Go ahead.
Cole, any thoughts?
I think it's fine. It fits in with the rest of the series. If you've played any of the others, you already know what you're in for, and you've probably already bought this without listening to us. I did want to point out one thing that I liked. Given the nature of this one, where it's so focused on harsher topics than the other Doodle God games, they do have a checkbox in the menu for a kid safe mode. Which is good to have if you're playing it where your kids are around.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can. There's a kid mode, and it censors it a little more.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even notice that. So, what does it do?
I didn't turn it on.
Oh,
I just
okay.
I saw it and was like, oh, that's a good thing to have, and because I was playing it late after the kids were in bed anyway, so I didn't care. I don't play with my kids around. I play to get away from my kids.
That's fair.
But it's nice it's nice. It's an option. So yeah, I'm good with it. I think it's a buy it anyway. I like these games. I think they're simple and just kind of good mind numbing shit to play.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, Jacob, that's it for you. You heading out?
Yep.
Thank God.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out and doing the interview with us. Do you have any final words before we kick your ass on out of here?
Back to your unit. If you're still listening, please, for the love of God, announce whatever the hell it is that's happening with MouseBot, please. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Give him nothing.
Oh my God. All right. Next game to talk about is called 3 out of 10 Season 1, developed and published by Terrible Posture Games, released March 3rd on Xbox One, Series X and S, and Switch for $9.99. Join the ongoing adventures of developers at the world's worst video game studio as they endure antics both absurd and topical. Will they ever make a game that scores higher than a 3 out of 10? Stay tuned and find out. Oh, hopefully this one rates higher than a 3 out of 10. What do you think?
It does. I think it does. This 3 out of 10 does have a little bit of a problem going for it, in that it's the kind of game that appeals to people like us and devs, because most average gamers do not have any idea what goes on at indie studios, right?
Yeah.
Or any studio for that matter. Like, they don't care about the game dev department. They just want to play something where they're shooting people. However, if you're a little more in tune with that nichier side of, oh yeah, we feed interns to the engineers to get shit done, then the type of humor and the overall concept of 3 out of 10 is definitely going to appeal to you. The game is a little bit odd because it sells itself as being, this game is a lot of bit odd. I don't know who I'm fooling. It sells itself as being an interactive sitcom. So if you think about the kind of television shows and sitcoms that we watched in the 90s, you definitely get that vibe, but with a more modern twist. As I said, you're feeding interns to the engineers to get shit done. So there's some dark humor. It's updated for 2021. You play as a character named Midge. Midge has gone to a job interview at Shovelware Studios. It's all very ham-fisted. They are not subtle at all here. She has gone for an interview at Shovelware Studios because they need an animator. The previous animator was who I could only assume was a lovely fellow named Javier. And Javier has not shown up for work because his desk is covered in blood and he may have spontaneously combusted. I don't think Javier's coming back.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, the job of an animator is a tough one. However, Midge, who thinks she's there for an interview, finds herself just kind of automatically adopted into the studio while there are protests and riots outside because something has been changed in the game and the fans, air quotes, fans, are not content with this change of pace. So your entire experience with the game is seen through Midge's eyes as she becomes the new animator at Javier's bloodstained desk. And
they didn't even clean it?
They don't even clean it the whole time. There's just blood desk. It's so delightfully horrible. And it kind of like, it's very much meant to convey the way, crunch and putting too much on staff at these smaller studios is an issue. The boss is just very much like, it's our policy not to talk about Javier anymore. It's very tongue in cheek, but it's also really poignant about the point it's trying to make. And you feel a little bit guilty for laughing at it, to be honest. It's a thing. I did enjoy it. I thought there would be less interactivity. I thought we were going to be like, oh, sometimes you have to push a button QTE style. But there are full-on mini-game puzzles involved, like going to get the intern out of his crate in the back room, for example. Or the animator is convinced, the artist is convinced that the animator has to be super fast to keep up with his vision, and so you have to like pose the action figure the way that he wants to prove that you can be fast. And sometimes you just have to help get snacks, or there's a lot of different mini games, and they all work really well within the context of the game, even though you wouldn't think that they would. I was impressed, is what I'm trying to say. Cool. I really enjoyed 3 out of 10. I wouldn't give the game a 3 out of 10. I think it's a solid 6.5.
Well, that's not our scoring system. So on our scoring system, what do you give it?
I do think it's a buy it. Again, I do think it can be a little off topic to people who aren't already like familiar with how game dev works out. But for people like us or anybody in that kind of circle where you're interacting with game devs and you know what's going on behind the scenes at these indie studios, You're going to feel guilty for laughing, but you're definitely going to laugh.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Sir Lovelot, developed and published by pixel.lu, released March 3rd on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and Steam for $9.99. Sir Lovelot is on a quest to find the love of his life. Join him in this wacky platformer where impressing cheeky damsels is harder than a heart of stone. Spring is in the air. Can you feel it? Our friend Surlyna covered this one, wrote in a review. This is what she's got to say. What's up, SML friends and fam? It's Surlyna, and this week I'm reviewing Sir Lovelot for the Xbox One. Sir Lovelot is a speedrunning, platforming, love 'em and leave 'em fest where you will swim, jump, and climb up the hair of your one true love the evening before heading off to find your next conquest. Let's get to the review. There's not a whole lot to the story of Sir Lovelot, and that's okay. You control the titular character, who is the cutest little playable button you've ever seen. Your quest is simple. Bring the damsels the tokens of love they desire to be invited in for some hot coffee via climbing up the braided hair, all Rapunzel style. This Lothario extraordinaire must traverse 4 different landscapes in order to please as many damsels as he can. At first I thought this was a cheeky little platformer, but it's also an excellent game to run through with the speed of a cheetah. You are aided by the ever so handy running timer, constantly reminding you that you aren't as quick as you thought you were. There are collectibles in the game as well. You have to collect the items that the ladies ask for in order to complete the levels. These range from flowers, rings, and other trinkets that you'll find along the way. There are also coins to collect. And you'll find out very quickly that some coins are hidden in plain sight. I don't want to spoil their location, but when you figure it out, you may curse yourself for being silly. Finally, there are geese to collect. Yes, geese atop golden eggs just waiting for you to find and plunder them. Why are they there? Humor mainly, but also finding secret geese and coins boost your score, so if you on 100% these maps, you must obtain them. On to the gameplay. It's a platformer, so it's pretty simple. Press A to jump. Now, where the game doesn't tell you is that there are baddies in the world, because of course there are, and you cannot dispatch them with a bop on the head. That's an easy way to earn a death. You can actually fire some yellow bolts at them to kill them off, but again, the game doesn't tell you that, so just press X to do that. So thanks for that. Dispatching the baddies isn't too hard. Just have to gauge how far your bullets travel, stand right outside that, and let them rip. There's no recharge or limit, so spam to your heart's content. Level design is spiffy. Each world has its own themes with its world-specific obstacles. The game is challenging enough where finishing a level will bring out great satisfaction, but it's not hard enough to lock people of a lower skill level out. You still have to get good, but there's no huge penalty to dying other than not getting 100% on a level if you die too often. I don't think this is a big deal for the casual players. Another thing I liked is the pace. Most speedrunning games go by real quick, but this one left me wanting more. I found that I really wanted to continue playing the levels. Sure, there were elements of the jumping that made me grit my teeth, but that's normal in a platforming game, and it's an incredibly balanced game. Sir Lovelot is available on the Xbox One and other platforms for $9.99, and should you buy this one, yeah, you should definitely pick this one up. I think veterans of the genre and newbies will find great appreciation for this title. The quirky music, the graphics, the gaming, and level design all work well together. Not to mention, if you're an achievement hunter, it shouldn't take you too long to get all of them, provided how thorough you want to be in your explorations. So go nuts, climb some hair, shoot some baddies, jump some gaps. You'll be glad you did. Carnage in chat saying he really loved Lovelot too. So I think it's a really cute game, and finding the geese is fun. It's always fun trying to find the hidden shit.
Nice.
Speaking of hidden shit, the next game to talk about is called Portal of Evil Stolen Runes, developed and published by 8 Floor, released March 5th on Xbox One for $8.99. The gates to another world will open soon. You can stop the impending disaster, but to do so at all costs to return the stolen lamps. What? You can stop the impending disaster, but to do so at all costs to return the stolen stamps. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense?
No, it sure doesn't.
Am I wrong? Whatever. Vanessa is the only heiress of Abraham Van Helsing, a member of the Secret Order of Light guarding the peace of our world, and now it has to find the runes that were sealed the gate. And now it has to find the runes that were sealed the gate behind which lurks an ancient evil. Cole, tell us about it, because I'm kind of lost.
Listen, Joe, I don't actually pay attention to the story in these kind of games. I just solve the puzzles and go.
Oh, okay, then. How is it?
I couldn't tell you what was happening if my life depended on it. Now, I will be that was already entirely honest, that I just kind of ignored the story and glossed over it. It was one of those that it was kind of just forgettable, and it was just happening, and it was an excuse to go play the puzzles, right? That's kind of how I feel about it. I feel a little bad saying that out loud, but that is how I approached it. I will say, I didn't know that 8th Floor had it in them to make a hidden object puzzle like this. Most of my experience with 8th Floor games have been the copy and paste mobile ports of the little strategy games, which I fucking love.
Yeah, you're addicted to those.
I love them because they're mindless, and I'm just like click, 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 and I'm done, and I get the 1K, and I'm out after like 4 hours, and I couldn't tell you a thing about them either.
Can you imagine what went through my mind knowing that A, you love 8th Floor games, and B, you love hidden object games, and I saw an 8th Floor hidden object game for you to review? Do you like that? Just seemed like the fates and the moons and stars aligning.
Right? It really is kind of the perfect blend. And this is the kind of game that I would expect if Artifacts Mundi made a hidden object game that had 3D animated cutscenes. But it's by 8th Floor. It was so surreal to play it because I was playing through it and I'm like, this feels very much like a 3D animated Artifacts Mundi game. And then I'd have to remind myself that it was not. It was 8th Floor. And then I was like, watch me fuck up during the review and say, this is an Artifacts Mundi game. So if I do, that's why. Yeah, it has 3D animations. I will go ahead and say the cutscenes, I appreciate that they're there. They clearly tried. They're not that great. They're not as clear as they could be in the first place, because you can tell it's very much a port, right? And it was made for mobile, and it shows. But also, like, there's that whole translation thing going on with the faces, and I'm like, I'll give them credit. Their 3D models do look better than, say, when Artifacts Mundi just animates the mouth on a static image. I'll give them credit there. At least they went full on 3D models and stuff, and it's fine. But what you're here for are the hidden objects and the puzzle solving. And in those regards, they did a really good job. I wish there were more hidden object scenes. It took entirely too long for those to start cropping up, and they were too far apart and too short for my liking. Excuse me, sirs.
Dogs are going off.
Yeah.
Your alarm.
They were too far apart for my liking. I would have liked to have seen a lot more of them. I think there were certainly plenty of opportunities where they could have cropped up, and then just they weren't there. But the puzzles were easy to solve. They weren't anything that were gonna like shake your world or anything like that. It was an odd game. Because it seems very mundane at first, and like I said, I didn't keep a good track on the story. But like, it's in the beginning, it's very like, oh yeah, this is a thing. It's fine and it's mundane, and then that kind of bit me in the ass when I got to the end, and I was like, I have no idea why any of these things are here, and I can't tell you why I'm saying that without spoiling it. So just know that do a better job than I did at keeping up with things. If you actually want to give a fuck about why the ending gets really weird. But yeah, it's really. I don't want to say this because I'm afraid it's going to sound mean, but it's also true. It's not Artifacts Mundi hidden object puzzle level of pretty in the scenery, but it's close enough that you're okay with it all the same. Right? It's just like if you got an Artifacts Mundi game at the dollar store. And that's not a bad
Is
thing.
it like
though.
that? Like, Mom says we have Artifacts Mundi at home.
Yeah. And it's at the same time.
But it's not Artifacts priced either, so that's good.
Yeah. And at the same time, like the whole time I was playing, I was like, it could be an Artifacts Mundi game, but it's not quite an Artifacts Mundi game. but it's also not bad. Like, there's some really pretty scenes. Nothing that I'm taking screenshots of, like I have with Artifacts Monday games.
You're comparing way too much to Artifact.
I can't help it because that's my basis for hidden objects. And I would like to be like, oh, it's so far different that you can't make that comparison. But they literally use the exact same sparkle animation to show you where a hop is at. So I don't think they mind that it's a comparison. It's almost like they were taking some artistic inspiration. And so they're probably okay with that.
Well, are you okay with paying $8.99 for this one?
Yeah, the price, I think it's fine. I was gonna go with like a really recommended try it. So I kind of feel like at $8.99 I can give it a fuck it, why not?
That works.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, I wouldn't.
You think it's cheap enough to warrant that? Where it's cheap enough that why not just buy it?
Yeah, like I wouldn't go whole hog. Oh yeah, buy it, grab it. But like, if you're into these games, like I am,
it's cheap enough to just do it.
It's fine. You're like, yeah, I'm not going to be disappointed. Go ahead.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, up next we got to bring Dark Mika into the conversation.
Goddamn.
Yeah, we got a lot of people showing up tonight.
Can I take a nap now?
No, because you're still doing these next two.
Son of a shit.
He's just helping with them. If she picks up. There she is. Aki, how are you doing?
Pretty good. And yourself?
I mean, I'm still doing the show.
Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't die in the middle of it and now you're in hell?
Could you imagine if hell was just doing the show for eternity?
We are.
You're welcome. Oh. I'm glad I brought that to your mind.
Oh, shit.
All right, well, 2 more games to talk about. Aki, you're here to chime in on the both of them. The next game to talk about is called Warshmallows, developed by You Run Limited, published by Bonus Stage Publishing, released March 10th on Steam for $14.99. Battle online in a captivating 4-player platform fighter with endless amounts of fun. Warshmallows, take control of your favorite Warshmallow and hop, dash, loot, and shoot to be the last one standing. Twist the time with automated bullet time, survive the chaotic catastrophes, and collect the donuts. Cole, start us off. What the hell is this game?
I am actively captivated by Warshmallows. You ever just wanted to be a little marshmallow going to war against other little marshmallows that were all, brightly colored but vaguely decorated to look like other things? Because that's what you're going to get here. I will go ahead and give Warshmallows all the props right out of the gate for having online co-op. Or not co-op, but online multiplayer. I'm tired. Please forgive me.
Nope.
We talked to Jacob for an extended period of time tonight, and I'm struggling because of it. It has online multiplayer. And first off, we're in a fucking pandemic. I don't care if people are getting shots in their arms. You're still supposed to be staying home and not playing couch co-op. This is a good thing. On the other hand, it feels a little bit like it's trying to be a little Fall Guys-y in a way. It's all brightly colored. You can only play it multiplayer. There's no campaign. It just is what it is. You either play it with people in your house, which sucks to be you, or you play it online. I will also say, as far as having online only goes, I found the game really quickly. That's kind of a miracle for me. I'm always bitching that I can't find anybody to play with in online games because I play at weird ass hours.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually took advantage of my kids' homeschooling schedule and was like, hey, go sit in art class and leave me alone for an hour. And I found some games, and it was relatively quick. There wasn't any lag. It worked out really well. No complaints. I was pretty happy with that. As far as actual gameplay goes, you have a few different levels. Different levels have different platforms. Sometimes there are other things that you can interact with. One level, for example, has like these portals, and you can shoot into them, and the bullets will come back out of them. In other directions, it can get a little hectic. The whole point is you have a couple of people on the screen as their little Warshmallow, whichever one you want to choose, and your goal is to shoot at them and trap them in a bubble.
Okay, so that is the only mode. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's all there is.
Okay.
If there was anything
sure
else, I didn't see it.
Okay, yeah, because that's all I saw, and I was like, I don't know if there's any modes or if every time I've played, they've just voted for the same fucking thing or not.
Yeah, I think that is one of the bigger downsides of the game. What they've done with creating this last man standing level is really good. It plays well. It's solid. It's enjoyable. You're going to have fun. But it also wears out its welcome really quickly because there's fucking nothing to shake it up. There are different weapon types you can get. There are different skins you can get. But in the end, all you're doing is trapping, just trying to survive while everybody else gets trapped in a bubble.
I won my first game by pure luck. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
There's a tutorial.
I didn't even notice that.
It comes up and says, do you want to do the tutorial? If you click no, it'll never come up again.
Oh, yeah, I did go into that. But since there wasn't anything in there, it was like, aim, hit this to slap. I still didn't know what the fuck I was doing in the actual game because you don't do most of that shit in there.
You do everything.
I didn't. I just jumped around and dodged bullets.
Jump off of the cliffs, or what did you do?
They kept taking each other out, so I kept winning by default.
Wow.
Out of the 5 rounds that I had to survive, the first 3 of them, I never shot my gun, and I won all 3 of them. And after that, I got like 2 people in bubbles, and the other 2 games total. That was it. I'm lucky.
Wow. Cole, your thoughts?
I could have done this review by myself.
Well, $14.99. What are you thinking of Warshmallows?
That is a really fucking high price tag for a game that only has 1 mode. And that's a little disappointing. I think it's good for what it is, but I think they definitely need to build on it and add more to it to justify that price. So I'm gonna go with a try it, because you have to just be really dedicated to that 1 mode.
Aki, any thoughts?
She didn't play shit. She doesn't get any thoughts.
Okay.
I didn't particularly like it, but it was a multiplayer-centric game, and I'm always kind of iffy on those ones just in general. I think that for people who like multiplayer games, they can get into this. It is enjoyable, and it's not like the rounds take very long. I think that entire survive 5 rounds thing took like 5 or 6 minutes at max. So these are nice little quick things that you can just play real quick. And I got into a game about as fast as you can snap your damn fingers. So
that's always a good sign.
Yeah, and I really wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to go into the online multiplayer and fucking go nowhere, but I immediately got in. It was insane.
Nice. All right, well, one final game to talk about tonight is called Size Matters, developed by Mazen Games, published by GrabTheGames, released out of Steam Early Access on March 12th for $9.99. He plays a scientist who is shrinking every second in a race against time, find all the ingredients and formulas scattered around the laboratory which are necessary for producing the life-saving antidote. Aki, how about you start on Size Matters? Tell us about it.
Okay. It's exactly what you said. You play as somebody who is shrinking constantly. I don't know what happens when you actually shrink to death, because
you got to start over.
Okay, because I never actually got to that point. Basically, you're looking around. There's lots of bottles that have liquids in it, and when you pick them up, they're suddenly named, and there's a certain amount of them throughout the area that you have to find, and then you also have to find notes, and these notes tell you what to mix, what chemicals to mix to make other chemicals that you end up needing. And you're just trying to get all this stuff done to create one of 3 keys, eventually making all 3 keys to the antidote to prevent you from shrinking to death. I am not good at the game. I had to put it on I flipped it to like 20 minutes because I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to take me. And I got close to that every single time. And there's like an achievement for beating in like 7 minutes. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you do that. But the chemicals, you can mix them. You can get water and mix them with water. If you accidentally mix two chemicals that weren't supposed to be mixed, you can undo that with another machine.
Don't blow shit up. Don't ask me how I know.
I didn't know they could blow stuff up. I've done that so many times. I've never seen one explode.
Oh, it can blow shit up.
I broke the game once by mixing water over and over and over with itself. After you mix water with water and it creates this unnamed chemical. And if you mix that unnamed chemical with another unnamed chemical of, again, water and water, it breaks the machine. Which I found out, and that was really amusing, other than the fact that it kept that machine noise running the entire fucking time. You can microwave the chemicals, which just sounds like a terrible idea in every conceivable sense. There's also a sequencer that's off on the side that you can use, and it's all just in order to get the keys created so you can keep yourself from dying. The great thing about this game is that pretty much everything is fucking customizable. Like, when you go to start the game, you can dictate how high you can jump, how fast you can start running, how fast your full run is, how tall you are, how short you get before death, how long you play the game, how many of these different notes there are, how many formulas, etc., there are. Like, it is fully customizable, which is how I played it, because that made it so much more fun. And then there's the various difficulties that you can also choose that I didn't touch because it was really fun playing the custom games.
Were you able to get it to play with a controller, or did you try?
I tried it. It didn't work.
I couldn't get controller support either, so I don't suppose it's there.
Yeah, I don't think there is. But
what did you think of the game?
I had a really good time with it. I didn't get to play it as much as I wanted to because it was causing wrist fatigue because I couldn't play with my controller. So playing with a keyboard and mouse just doesn't work for my arthritis. But what I did get to play through it, I had a really fun time. I liked how it was customizable in pretty much every way possible. I thought that it was goofy, but also like you could easily get lost in what you were doing and messing around and forget that you had a sense of urgency until you got kind of small, and then you were like, oh shit, I forgot to actually fix things. So I kind of liked when that oh shit moment kicked in. But yeah, I had a good time with it. I thought it was really well done.
I didn't like shrinking too much because it does prevent you from being able to use stuff effectively. You have to turn around and drag things around to try and get up onto areas, and that doesn't work well for me. That I tried to reposition things because you can hold a button, and then while you're carrying it, you can push a button and angle it however you want so that you can get it to go where you want it. And it never seemed to work worth a damn for me. So I really didn't like getting too small, which is one of the reasons why I bumped myself up to max height and made it like an hour long. So it would take forever before I got so small that I couldn't interact with stuff anymore. Because it is really hard to get stuff to platform. There are boxes and chairs and stuff around, as well as a plank of wood that if you take too fucking long, is the only thing you can use. But just trying to finagle them where they need to be in order to use things is really, really hard, and I didn't like that.
Well, the game is in early access right now for $10. Is this something that people should be investing in right now? Something people should be keeping their eyes on and possibly investing in the future? What do you think of it?
I think it's worth investing in now. I really enjoyed my time with it. And it's all really quick, depending on how long you want to put the timer for.
Cole?
Yeah, for $10, I think it's worth it. I would like to see controller support added to it, but beyond that, yeah, I think I can give it a buy it at $10.
Yeah, controller support.
Not to buy it; it's early access.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, controller
Invest
support.
in it.
Yeah, controller support and just better system of angling items would make this game significantly better.
Mm-hmm.
If I weren't any smarter, I'd think Cole was mocking me back there.
I wouldn't.
We all mock you all the time. It's fine. Just some of us do it more openly than others.
Fair enough. That is it for this episode. We made it through another one. Another huge thanks to Matt Small at Vector Unit for coming on, chatting with us. Really fun chat. I love having him on. He's a really cool guy.
It was a great show.
And hopefully Jacob gets the game that he is hoping for.
I hope not now. I'm rooting against him. I'm just like, I hope he was just stringing him along that whole fucking time.
I want Matt to hear the interview and, was he serious? Oh my God. Oh my God. Is he serious? Like, that's all staying in. All of it. All of it. So, yeah, big thanks to Matt for coming on. Big thanks to Jacob for being here. Thanks to the two of you for being here. Does anybody have any final words to end the show?
I'm not here. I'm a figment of your imagination.